Hello, gamers. This should be the last episode of Paul Bingus, and I know it's going to be the last one, because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to just record everything. I'm actually going to pause as I get through a lot of the boring stuff. And I say boring, I mean debatable, but I'm talking about all of the stuff that I've done already, basically. Like fighting this bounty. I've done that, like, what, 3 times now? Something similar to this. There's no reason to show that again. I'm also not going to be doing this quest line, at least not in this playthrough. So that's not going to need to be there. So really all that's left is waiting for these crises to tick up, dealing with Tritachyon. So if, like, I fight interesting fleets, then I'll unpause to show that. If I find something interesting, I'll unpause to show that. But really, I'm just going to skip through a lot of this because, I mean, this fleet stomps everything. We're at the end game, right? Stuff is maxed out. The game is over. The only challenge left is just exploring how the different crises work. Even though, obviously, I can just crush their fleets, it's going to be interesting to see what the unique mechanics are for them. So I'll show that when they come up. And the unique bounty that you get once per save file, which I will show once I actually get it. So until then, this is going to be on pause. Ain't no way I decide to pause, and I did the bounty over here, and I come back, and the first thing he offers me is the one that I've been looking for this whole time. I guess that's the solution. You've just gotta... That's the way that it is, right? You finally decide, okay, enough is enough. I'm gonna pause until I get it, and then they give it to you. It's just like real life. You say, enough is enough. I'm putting my foot down. And then everyone just gives you everything that you ask for. That's the way that it works. This is not legal advice. Don't try that. Unless you think you can get away with it. In which case, absolutely try that. Okay, well, we're going to take that. Of course. It would be... I also did deploy a wormhole here. I had to scrap their sensor array. They don't know it was me, though, so it's fine. I put the other end over here. So I scrapped my own sensor array, too, which means that it's fair, right? I scrap yours, I scrap mine, and now I've got a wormhole connecting our systems. It's going to take about half a year, but it will work. Okay, so I could... Yeah, I'm just going to go straight there and do that. Yeah. Well, there's got to be a better... There's got to be a gate. Yeah, we'll just head back over here. Oh man, I finally decided to deploy the wormhole just to save myself this little bit of time. And now it's all over, before it even had a chance to deploy. I mean, is it even worth really doing these? I don't think they're going to be super exciting. It's part of the thing that I've just been feeling over the last couple of videos is there's just not much progress to be made, and so I'm kind of losing interest just because I've already got a fleet maxed out and nothing's really a challenge. So finally having a challenge, that's good. That's exciting. This is going to be fun because it's going to be actually threatening. But other than that, I'm not really interested in farming Ordos for like a billion alpha cores. I'm just not going to do that. Because you are located right here. No, right click. There we go. Slip surge time. I guess we can do this. We'll finish off the... We're not going to worry about the Syndrian one. We're not going to worry about the Tritachyon one. I will go deal with this last AI inspection. And then talk to the High Hegemon. And then that's where we'll end things off. Right? It's a nice little ending to this story. Putting the hegemony in its place. Beneath my boot. Because I, Paul Bingus, have shown myself to be the superior commander. As a leader of my people, it's clear that I know what I'm doing better than this Baikal Daud. Or as I like to call him, the big old dumb. That's not a matter of insult, it's simply a matter of fact. Alright, I'm just gonna save for no particular reason. Yeah, no, I think if I die here, I'm just gonna cut the video. It'll be over. 181%. S-mods galore. Alpha, like, we've done Alpha Course, so that's not scary. The S-mods, okay, now things are a little more challenging, but we were crushing the Alpha Course, so that just puts us kind of on an even playing field, really. And then we've got you. But then again, we also have Omega weapons. So, let's see what we can do. Actually, this fleet is slightly worse than it should be, because I've realized I've got this Pirate Afflictor, but I could just be using a regular one. The 4 extra deployment points, I'm using 235, so that would just take me up to 239. Normally, it's not really worth it for the AI because the difference is not that big. It's not worth the 4 deployment points, but in this case, we might as well. But oh well, it is what it is. We're already here. Alright, I think I'm gonna say search and destroy with you guys and do that. Yeah. This is what I'm gonna go with. And I am pretty excited about the next fleet I'm going to build, because I've sort of pieced together a lot of the things that I want to include. I'm probably going to run like Triple Heron, because this one was very heavy with... I went into leadership, but I went with the frigate skills rather than the carrier skills. So next time I want to do the opposite. I want to go with the carrier skills. And normally if you want to capture the points reliably, what was true before was you needed high-tech frigates, or phase ships, or you needed to use safety overrides, and that was the general rule. Well, this could actually be hard to capture them, huh? And we're going to actually use actual strategy and avoid that instead of just killing it because it's easy. But you know that electronic warfare lets you capture the points much easier. The game has changed. You don't need those things, so you can be a bit more flexible with fleet design. In fact, I believe you can actually get away with using things like monitors and, if you can believe it, falcons to capture points. I've had some success with that. Oh, okay, cool. Just barely got it. No, that would be a mistake if I did that. Okay. Alright, that looks good. We've got ourselves established on the field. Just gotta be careful for when the Tesseract deploys. It's not on the field yet, but I believe they only use 24 deployment points, I think. They're cruisers. You know, they just happen to be cruisers with, you know, a ton of Omega weapons that split into a bunch of other small ships when they die. And also have Temporal Shell, which is just crazy good on a cruiser. But, you know, setting aside all of those things, it's really just a cruiser. I think we can change that over to a normal control point and turn that off. I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and send you guys. We're going to have all the frigates avoid it so that they don't get popped, but we're going to try and send the Paragons in. Okay, what you got for me? Okay, there's an overload. If you guys could strip the armor, I don't know where you were aiming at, but it was not a great shot. I hate to be the bearer. Did you just run away? In my moment of need? Alright, well you took care of that. Excellent. Let's not 1v1 these. Or 1v3, I guess. Let's just not do that. Yeah, so let's try and get that Radiant off the field, because fighting both the Radiants and the Tesseract would be bad. And of course, there's this big corpse in the way preventing it from shooting. Naturally. Things couldn't be so simple, could they? No, that would be too simple. So there's a bunch of guys down here because they just killed whatever was there. Yeah, I guess you guys killed that. You killed that. No, you kill that. You hold that. No. I don't need multiple people. You can do that. Okay. Let's try that. I'm just gonna kill the little guys myself. Excellent. Okay, so the Radiant is in fact down. We do in fact have a Tesseract on the field. I mean, even with the S-mods, it looks like the Remnants are just getting crushed. Even with all these S-mods, we've got control of these capture points, and we're pushing up towards their spawn. For them, it's truly Jover. In fact, I'd even say that it's Jover, isn't it? Well, maybe I'll save the singing for later. And then I'll just hope that my vocal cords decide to cooperate. You know how it is. Alright, so let's kill that. Everybody else avoid this thing because, okay, yeah, it's, another reality disruptor! My goodness. That's comedy. That writes itself. I don't need to say anything. A third reality disruptor. Wow. The game really wants me to use those, huh? It's just tossing them at me in bulk. Were they on sale? Damn. Okay, I got one of those Reapers. It's better than 0. Yeah, and you guys are just gonna... yeah. No contest. Yeah, so my next fleet, I'm going to be doing a different idea for flagships. Instead of this, instead of Neuralink, I'll be doing some piloting of an actual battleship. I'm going to be piloting a Pegasus. That's the plan anyways. Because, you know, it's one of the newer ones. It fits the midline theme that I'm aiming for. And I can use Hurricanes, because even though they're nerfed, they're still really good. At least... they're good on a Pegasus. You can also show off carriers, see, so that they can, in fact, support a fleet when used correctly. Like, some of my decisions are going to be around, like, okay, so Hurricanes were nerfed, so I'm going to try and use those. Monitors were nerfed, so I'm going to use some of those, because... you know, they're still good, and I want people to see that. Other ones. Some people don't think Falcons are very good. I think that they're not like an all-star, but they can definitely pull their weight. So I'll be using some of those. Yeah, this is super over. It almost doesn't feel any different than the other fights that I've had, to be honest. Oh, look at that. It killed one. Sad. Anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna help you guys over here. They didn't stand a chance. Yeah, let's see. Right, and some people think that conquests, I mean, I've made plenty of videos using conquests, but some people insist that they're just not very good in AI hands. I'd like to contest that. I'll be throwing in some conquests. AI-controlled ones, of course. Let's reposition a little bit. There we go. Thank you, there we go. Strip the armor off so I can actually kill this thing. Hold on, they're coming off cooldown. No, I should back off. Let's play it a little safe here. Still got Tesseracts to deal with. Okay, so the AI is actually killing this thing on its own. That's good. It chased this poor Omen all the way to the edge. Yeah, so we're going to turn off that and... Oh, you poor thing. That's just... That is just disrespectful. I mean, how can we really allow this kind of thing to happen? You, sir, have crossed a line. Omens are just helpless little... They're just little guys. It's just a helpless little guy. You wouldn't hurt a little guy with glasses, would you? I mean, they're just like these little nerd ships. Just a little guy with glasses, and you punched him like that. I mean, you're gonna get what's coming to you, buddy. That's for sure. Because the big brothers are on the way. You thought one of them was bad enough earlier. How about two of them with Omega weapons? Alright. Let's just have a little look. Yeah, it gets distracted by the Medusa. But yeah, it's even though the other Paragon can't really reach it, it doesn't matter. It's just going to get demolished. Hold on, let me just sneak around. Yeah, there we go. And... bonk. Let's fire another one for good measure. Excellent. Okay, so kill that. And go on autopilot. And just watch this. And even the one in the back is still helping because the Reality Disruptor can shoot over teammates. Along with the resonators for that matter. I don't know what you're doing. That was weird. Oh, and you drop your shields and get disabled, of course. Classy move. Yeah, I think I just want to set defense orders now. Because there's going to be a lot of fighters, and having the Omens clean that up faster will be nice. But yeah, I'd like to... I mean, this clearly shows that a balanced... You don't need to do, like, capital spam or anything to complete the main challenges in the game with vanilla content. At the very least, high tech can do that. I'm pretty sure the other tech levels can do it too, but... well, we'll get to that when we get to that. I'd love to. I'm going to be doing midline next, and low tech will be last. Sucks to suck, I guess. I mean, low tech can be fun, but I think people overhype. They overhype the Onslaught a little bit. Like, yeah, it's good, but it's not like, OMG, it's so busted that everything else is behind, and you need to nerd. No, it's not that amazing. I've seen the Onslaught die. It definitely, like, it needs more support than a Paragon, that's for sure. Well, unless you form like a battle line. That's a little different, though. If you're doing one of those... Some people have been doing videos where they take on, like, 6 Ordos at the same time. And in that case, you form, like a battle line with your ships instead of trying to fight the way that I'm fighting here, where you go around the whole battlefield and, actually use a lot of the mechanics. Instead, it's just like, no, we just line up the ships and the enemies come to us and then they die because we have so much damage. In that case, you don't need to worry as much about being flanked, but you should still have some tools to deal with it. Yeah, it's 2 more cryoblasters, just in case I needed them. 2 more mini pulsers. I could actually use those. Because now I have a total of 5. Or, no wait, when it says total of 3, does it mean I have 1 at home and 2 here? Well, somehow, out of 5 chances to get large weapons, I got 3 reality disruptors, 1 volatile particle driver, and I didn't get a 5th weapon. That's really weird. I believe someone said that sometimes they see people boast... yeah, that was Grievous, I think. He said that when people post builds with, like, 2 large Omega weapons, he considers it modded content, because the chances of someone else being able to replicate that is really low. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I've got 3 on my screen right now. Well, I don't have them on screen right now, but you know what I mean. I have 1 on that ship, and I own 2 more. Okay, so yeah, it is a total. Okay. I've got 1 at home, I've got 1 right here. I mean, this is very strange. You should not be expecting to get 3. But it's interesting. I mean, If I ever have like a brilliant idea, a genius idea for a fleet, if only I had 3. Well, I can always come back to this save file because I got that. Yeah, volatile particle tribird, the one with the reality disruptor and the VPD. Did more, well, it did less total damage, but it did more hull damage, which likely means that it just killed the enemies better. And because they killed the enemies better, it didn't have to get through their shields multiple times. That's probably what that means. And then, yeah, 50,000, 26,000. Pretty decent. Let's keep scrolling down. They did alright. Let's see, did you hit any Reapers? 3 hits. 12,000 hull damage. That's actually, out of 4 Reapers, you hit 3 and did 12,000 hull damage. That's a good rate. You know what? I was skeptical. I was just testing out autoloader with the Omens. That's something I was just testing. I wasn't sure. But, you know, I think this has set aside a lot of my skepticism. They can miss and just do nothing. Like, this one didn't hit any Reaper shots. But the ones that do hit, I think, are enough to make it worth it. I mean, 20% damage, 15% damage, 25. No, that's the Animator Blaster, 33. Yeah. I think it's worth it. Okay. Wait, did you... No, yeah, you survived. These ones died. Alright. Well, that is that. So I'm going to go home. We're going to go home, and we're going to deal with this AI inspection. And then we're going to give the High Hegemon a piece of our mind. And then it'll be Jover. And maybe as a little bonus at the end, I'll show off a fleet that I a devious little strategy that I've crafted. I think that could actually be interesting, showing sort of what a strong midline fleet can look like first, before I actually start the playthrough. And so, I don't know if that's better or worse. Like, maybe it's a good idea to keep it kind of a mystery what the endgame fleet is going to look like, where if I spoil it beforehand, it would look... like, maybe that's a bad thing. Or, maybe it's interesting, because sometimes you have conversations like, hey, look at this endgame fleet, this is really good. But then it's like, well... But then people will say, like, yeah, it's only good because you got to endgame. But if you tried to, like, build that fleet out through, like, actually playing the game, it would suck. So there's kind of an element of that, where I can show the fleet first and say, here's what it looks like at peak performance. And then I'm going to show you the whole playthrough of how I got there. By just actually doing it. So that's what I'm tempted, that's what I want to do. And in fact, I'm just going to do that. I don't know if it's good or bad, if that's what that would be, like, psychologically more interesting, the spoiler or not the spoiler, but I'm going to go with it because I want to try it. Okay, we've got, actually only generating a lot less now. Huh. We've dropped below 60. Interesting. I wonder why. Is it because I moved the alpha cores? I do believe I did move. I moved at least this one. Do I have more? I've got one more. I wonder, where was I going to put that? I have no idea. I should put it somewhere just so I can get I can get more points. And story points, speaking of, maybe we can actually get this. I'm going to boost the accessibility so it grows faster because it's already at 80%. And then when it's done, I'll be able to upgrade the Patrol HQ to a military base. And that will be and then Alderaan Stronghold will be complete. So we'll actually get this done before moving on to the next save file. That'll be nice. Okay, let's see. Again, where do I want to put this alpha core? I don't think there's anywhere urgent. Oh, probably here. Yeah, in this commerce. As a matter of fact, drop some story points there. Because I don't have the Dealmaker Hollow Suite. And the baseline of plus 25% is just not much. But once you slap on a couple of upgrades, it gets really good. But the commerce baseline is just... you need to slap on a few bonuses before it's really worth it. Yeah, let's head on over. We probably want some fuel first, though. Usually, running out of fuel is bad. This is something that we have learned through experience, have we not? Let's see. Yeah, it's still going to have to wait a couple of months, unfortunately. Or maybe I could... I guess it's too bad that I abandoned that one colony, huh? The little sacrifice for the remnants. I had to, ultimately, because you need to abandon it so that you don't trigger the remnant crisis instead. Maybe I should have set one up again. Okay, we'll slap this in here. Big money. Okay. Still got a few story points. Did I... Hold on, let me check. No, I have not done ECCM package, so I can still do that for a couple of these. These three are still waiting on that, but, I mean, it's like the least important upgrade. And we've already beaten the Tesseract bounty. I was actually expecting it to be harder, to be honest. Just because of... I mean, yeah. It's been a long time since I fought it, and I fought it once. So, my expectations were set by how hard it was back then. But I guess I've just gotten a lot better as a player. Because this fleet crushed it. Okay. Maybe I'll go try raiding a Tritachyon world. Yeah, that's still waiting. I don't know if that's going to be ready before all of this is over. Yeah, okay. Let's try raiding an isolated little Tritachyon. Or just, we can kill stuff like this. Where are you going? Yeah, I'm gonna wait for yours to run out. Sorry. Sucks to suck. Yeah, it's gonna hurt our reputation a little bit. Wow, that actually made a lot more progress considering how... I didn't think it would be that much points of progress considering how easy that was. But I'll take it. And that's a mercenary. No, I'm looking for... Boo. They didn't e-burn. I was kind of expecting them to. What are those? It's pirates. I'm seeing a lot of pirates. Yeah, you better be scared. I guess pirate activity is really high right now, because that is a lot of pirates. Alright, let's try raiding you, while we wait for the hegemony to put their pants on. I mean, pirates are doing a lot of the work for us. Look at that. Yeah, look at this. You can do some raiding. I'm actually not sure what I would want to raid, though. Transphotonic ores of decent value. And there's a lot of X in there. There's a lot of excess, which makes them easier to raid. Sure. I could sell it back to... No, wait, you can't do that. Yeah. That would be funny, though. Did that make any progress? No, I think I have to disrupt industries. That's right. That's a different thing. I just defaulted to stealing stuff because that's usually what you do. I mean, why would I care about disrupting their industries? Well, I guess now there's a reason to care. Whereas before, not so much. And we'll sell you all this crap. Need it. Alright, well, I've learned something, which is, just remember to disrupt industry instead of just stealing stuff. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message. It's not about the money, Batman. It's about sending a message. Yeah, who is this weird... Wait, hold on. I need to think about what I'm going to say here. Kith, who's this weird painted guy? Who's this weird clown in my ship? And why is he acting all weird? Why is he laughing like that? Did something funny happen? Okay, can I actually sneak up on this? Or is there going to be patrols? There's going to be patrols, and... The thing is, you do want to do this. Oh, it's not chasing me. At least not now. Yeah, they're sleeping. They're just sleeping. Somebody is about to get fired. Yeah, they're not going to stop me. Disrupt. I guess commerce? Okay. 150 days? Sure. Until now, there's not really been any reason to do that. Wait, was this plus? That was plus 40. Huh. Okay, that's big. I think I'm on the right track here. Now I just need to drop on top of them using transverse jump. Yeah, the hegemony is still, you know, they're still doing their belt buckles, you know, they're shining their boots. They're trying to figure out how to tie them into knots. You know, I understand. Tying your shoes is hard. Only the biggest of boys know how to tie their shoes. No. Yeah, I get it. It's gonna hurt my reputation more. Both of you? Come on. I'm just gonna raid you. Screw you. I got what I wanted. It hurt my reputation less than if I... Well, I think even if you do it in the open... Yeah, I don't have enough. If you do it out in the open... No, wait, hold on. Wrong thing. Requires at least 25%. I don't have enough raid effectiveness? Really? Well. Bye, I guess. So that was not... That was not it? Okay. Well, let's hurt our reputation a little bit, but... I mean, we were at 100. We can survive. The flowers of peace will bloom once more, after I've stomped them into the dirt with my boot. Learn your place, corpos. Yeah, we're just gonna... You can just... We can just send 3 guys. Uh-huh. Did I get any points for that? No. Because that's not a traitor. Ah, I see. So patrols don't count. That makes sense. I've got to attack these. Here we go. That's what I need to do. That's going to give me points. Okay. So now they've got a bounty on us. I mean, considering I beat the Tesseract with the special bounty, I don't think this is going to be too scary. And it also might take a long time to show up. Some people have said it takes a long time to show up, so I have no idea when that's going to happen. No, I'm not going to recover that. Of course not. That would be silly. You're getting close, guys. Real close. Oh, I actually got another story point. Well, throw that on you. And you know, with 5 points left, I do have this timid mercenary. You could toss him into a wolf. It's not going to be killing much, but a wolf can still be a good distraction if it's got a timid officer. Not that I need that. Okay. Yeah, I guess it's a waiting game. Just gotta look around for... It's a patrol. I'm looking for a merchant. I wonder, it's going to Kalan, but it looks like it's a Persian League convoy, so would that have an impact? Probably not. Now, what's the cooldown on raids? Let me just try this again. Oh, we can just do that again. Lovely. And that's another 40. Oh, that was a, hold on, that was a merchant fleet, wasn't it? Actually, I want to keep that off. Hope I didn't mess that up. Just not, yeah, they don't know who I am. Perfect. Pursue them. Uh-huh. 223. Yeah, you can progress this really quickly. With just a few raids, hunt a few convoys. Simple as that. Yeah, this is going to be launching in 28 days. Do kind of need more fuel. Don't really need any of that. But these guys are pretty high level now. Plus 51%. I mean, if I could just raid them again, that would be alright. I can just do that again. It's another 40. Just completely bodying this little place. It must suck to live here right now. Damn. I can go back to Magek and finish the job. Oh, you guys actually want to fight. Well, I don't want to waste my time. Sorry. I could kill you, but that would be beneath me. And I can say that because I've killed the hardest enemies in the game. You are nothing to me. Bingus is going mad with power. Nobody can stop him. I keep accidentally clicking to turn that on, but luckily the game gives you a chance to turn it back off before you actually arrive. Yeah, they're not going to stop me. We could just do this again. Projected casualties heavy. Let's keep that moderate. And you know what, screw it. Launch. It's plus 40. Yeah, it looks like progress is maxed out. So now we go talk to the one who sold out Tritachyon. Well, not really sold out, but you know, our financial advisor. Let's go talk to him. And then we can deal with this. Begin assembling in 16 days. Yeah, so we're not even... We're dealing with both of these crises at the same time. So the only one I'm really skipping is the Syndrian one. Okay. Do you think you could arrange a deal to solve my ongoing friction with Tritachyon? First, you don't call me Rayan. There may be a way to make this work. The Tritachyon believes in internal competition, and if the reports I'm reading are any indication, the senior execs behind your friction have somewhat overplayed their hand. The financial predictor section is seeing a lot of red coming up, despite their best effort to cover it up. And that means blood will spill. Figuratively, of course. Unless, well, let's talk details. Ryo pulls up a shared document, context, and rapidly assembles a package of terms to present to his contacts at the highest levels of Tritachyon. Data sharing of certain nav charts and commodity future projections, mutual safety protocols for trade fleets, shared field and in-dock servicing arrangements, What it amounts to is increased accessibility for your colonies proportional to their market size, and in turn, proportional gains to Tritachion's trade access. It's not exactly a cartel, but it's a good first step. You both gain opportunities, and, of course, I get my percentage for arranging the deal, while cutting down a few jumped-up vac heads in the executive corps. Win, win, win. It's a good deal, Paul Bingus. I suggest you take it. Smart move. Now, I've got some calls to make. Get out of here and stay out of trouble. You can thank me when the credits start rolling in. Excellent. Everything went according to plan. Okay. Partnership. I get plus 24%, they get plus 16%. Nice. And you guys are targeting there, but where are you coming from? Of course, the seat of power itself, naturally. Where else would it be? Well, time to go deal with this. 10 days. Well, not 10 anymore. It's 7. Just gonna sit over here and wait. It's been a long journey. In fact, looking back, I was surprised at how early I started a colony. I was trying to figure out what video I started in, and it took me a while to realize, oh, I started a colony at the end of the second video. So that's like 4 hours into the playthrough. And now here we are like 40 hours, and we still haven't finished all the crisis. That's kind of crazy. The amount of times the colony has been up has been like 10 times longer than the time before it existed, and we still haven't finished all the crises. Well, of course, we're going to be able to speed things up in the next update, which will be nice. It's a Mercantile Convoy. But also, it seems like there's a lot of quality of life updates coming. I've complained about this interface, the Intel tab. It's getting cleaned up very nicely, where a lot of the more important tabs will be sort of up here, and they're going to have like a highlight around them, so the border, so they're very, very clear. And then you're going to have the faction section is still going to be at the bottom, and then you're going to have like a middle section for stuff that's not the factions, but not as important as the top ones. It looks a lot clearer, as well as some other minor improvements like being able to right-click. So if I right-click on this, it doesn't do anything, but it seems like you're going to be able to right-click Intel things, and it'll automatically route you there. So that's nice. As well as simulator improvements. Being able to basically fight everything in the game. Now, there's a lot of pirates around here. I wonder if they're going to interfere. Basically, the way that it's going to work is they don't want to spoil things, so you actually have to fight enemies to unlock them. But if you unlock them in one save file, then you've unlocked them permanently. So you won't just be able to boot up the game for the first time and fight a Radiant in the simulator. You have to actually kill one, but then once you do, it's unlocked permanently across all save files. That's the way that it's going to work. Which is just a nice touch. It avoids giving people spoilers if they're new to the game, but if you're experienced in the game, you can kind of test against anything. Well, you know, almost anything. You're not going to be testing against Tesseracts. That is not allowed. I feel like they're probably getting delayed by pirates, because there is just so many of them. Go away. Where's the Here it would be really funny if it said, like, inspection defeated. That would be hilarious. Although the days are ticking down, And I'm still seeing 0 fleets coming out of this system that they're supposed to be coming out of. Are you guys okay? Should I just go take the gate system home? It's starting to look like it. Maybe they just teleported past me or something. Who knows? Or maybe the days... There we are. Yeah, still, it's still just a basic, like, fleet. Really. Just a basic old fleet. Yeah, let's just deploy 1 Paragon. 2 might actually make this whole thing slower. Because then they have things they tend to get in. Well, I mean, probably not. But I just need the 1 to smash the enemy formation. Don't really need the second one. Alright, well, we're gonna do a little maneuver. Let's see if I can find the capital ship. I can just send the Paragon to go kill that. There you are. Oh, good shot. Alright. Yeah, they've got these guys, but my fleet is so fast compared to theirs that we've actually managed to... They're in the... Like, they're still deploying to the battlefield, and we've managed to cut them off from their capital ships. Although that could be blamed on them for abandoning the capital ships. Oh well. Thanks for making it easy for me. Oh, you turned off my mini pulsers. Oh no. Just need one Reaper to get through there. That is a lot of like light needlers and stuff on the back end for you guys, huh? Yeah, and these are going to be a problem. The Warhogs. What are you doing? You're killing this. Excellent. I like it when you do that. Dodge that. Easy. Simple as that. Right, okay. Well, let's not attack them from the front. It's usually a bad idea. Yeah, okay, we got him to turn around too for the Paragon. Lovely. Oh, I guess I can do this for you. Here we go. Yeah, this should be a little easier. It's a lot less point defense on the back of a Legion compared to an Onslaught. Not that there's much on an Onslaught, but there is actually some, as opposed to 0. Alright, let's just finish you off. Sorry, you know, I was preoccupied. I didn't mean to be rude enough to keep you waiting like this. It was not my intention. Oh hey, it's me. Rescuing me. Who could I rely on more than myself? Nobody's a pilot quite like nobody's ever piloted a ship quite the way that I do. And somehow the AI actually did a better job with the Reaper than me there. That does put a smile on my face. Alright, so we're not worried about that. Yeah, we just gotta clean up the stragglers here. And all of those are leaving. The flight of the Warthogs. Oh, you're actually running out before the Hyperion. I guess the Hyperion just hasn't been in combat as much. I mean, I know time flow, of course, because it's a phase ship, but even then, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I think, like, the Hyperion has a base peak performance of 2 minutes. Like, it's just so short that it should always be the one running out first, really. Man, this has some strong point defense. It's not letting anything through. You can just drive over here on your own. Yeah, there's a couple of frigates left. What's your CR? 2% CR. Oof. That's a 0. And there we go. Yes, of course I'm going to pursue them. Gotta make sure they learn their lesson thoroughly. Yeah, I don't think that was all of them. They really must be being delayed by the pirates. Yeah, alright, here's Fleet 2. This doesn't even have a oh, okay, there's a lot of fleets. There we go. Alright, the pirates can deal with that. I'm gonna go deal with you guys. There we go. That's 283%. Now that's a fleet. There we go. That's what I like to see. Now I can actually deploy everything, and that makes sense. And then, of course, I'm gonna be going into the office of the High Hegemon like, well, not saying it was me. Alright, listen here, big dummy. I'm not saying that it was my fleet that destroyed your guys. But it was. So stop bothering us. There's no AI cores here. That's just a blue beach ball. Who do you take me for? Tritachyon? I mean, yes, I use a lot of... I do use a lot of high-tech ships, and also, I use a lot of high-tech ships, and yes, I do have a very lucrative deal going on with them, but I am nothing like Tritachyon. What kind of fool do you take me for? So go kill that, go kill that. Excellent. And get over here. Can I 1v1 this? Let's find out. The answer is probably not. Well, maybe if I timed my Reapers really well. Because I use one to force it to phase, and then time the other one just as it comes out of phase. That would be a way to do it. Interesting shot. Alright, well, we're just going to hold on to those. No, don't send half the fleet over there. Just send the Paragon. That'll be fine. Okay, let's just sneak our way around you for a second. Yep, just turn around. There's nothing to see over here. There's no reason you should be concerned about that Paragon. None at all. Because I'm going to kill you anyways. Get a little closer. Helmsman, drive me closer. I want to hit him with my sword. get those cryoblaster shots in the same spot. He's spinning. He knows what's up. Didn't quite get it. Unfortunate, but he's dead anyways. There we go. It doesn't look like they get field modulation for these. It's too much of a high-tech strategy for them, I guess. You need to get over here. Yeah, I guess you just kill that. So instead I'll have you do that. Alright, time to remove more frigates. They don't stand a chance. One of my engines is out. I wonder what got me there. Pylon, perhaps? Yeah, I don't think field... That's not going to save you. It is going to force me to use some Reapers, but it's not going to save you. Actually, yeah, you can kill these things. There we go. And he gets away consequence-free. It's not even close. Get that vigilance out of here. Yeah, look at that. Safety overrides. Because of course they have safety overrides. That's probably why they added ballistic rangefinder to lashers, so that safety overrides would stop being the default. I mean, it still is. I just choose not to use it. Just do a little maneuver. A few breach missiles ain't no big deal. A Reaper, though, that would have been a big deal. Alright, that's taken care of. So we can get you over there, and you can do that. If you time it just right, they'll put their shields up to try and block the Reaper, but the damage from the mini pulses will force them to overload first. Although getting that just quite... Getting it exactly right can be difficult. And even if you don't get it right, as long as you hit one, it strips the armor, and Fire Blaster takes care of the rest. Ooh, nice shot. Yeah, there's more for the meat grinder. Here we go. I'm gonna hold on to my Reapers here. You've already got your armor stripped, and I'm running out of ammo. Oh, come on. Do you mind dying for me? Please? Nope, that was, Can the overload end? No? Alright. I thought I was being clever, trying to zigzag to dodge those harpoons. And it did delay them, but then I also ended up closer to the enemies, which was... I probably should have just eaten the harpoons and just tried to get further away. It was worth a shot. It's not like there's big consequences to losing it here. Hi. Bye. Yeah, it looks like we're getting real close to the end. I don't think they have any more ships to deploy. I'm gonna go kill you. Oh, I haven't deployed you yet. Yeah, whatever. It's kind of at the end. Omens are starting to run out of peak performance, even. This is lasting longer than the Tesseract, then. Well, maybe not, because against that fleet, I don't think they were engaged in combat 100% of the time, whereas this fleet, the enemy has had no breathing room. You only drain peak performance when you're close to enough enemies to... If you're far away, like capturing... Like you kill like an isolated frigate in order to capture a point. Well, once you kill that frigate and you sit there on the point, you're not actually draining any peak performance. It's so nice of that reality disruptor to turn off all the point defense, so I don't have to worry about losing these Reapers. Yeah, there's... It looks like they just send regular... They've got another one? So many. It looks like the way they do this is they have, for the final inspection fleet, the commanding officer has a 14 onslaught. And then but it's the only one in the fleet, is that single. That's what it looks like anyways. It would make a lot of sense. Yeah, the Reaper didn't get through. I've only got one left now. Unfortunate. Nice overload. I appreciate it. All that's left is to clean these up. Where'd all your onslaughts go? Where's all that armor you're so proud of, Mr. Hegemony Officer? Where'd it go? It's such a shame, isn't it? Actually, we can remove the leashes here. Hopefully the Medusas will just help us end this a little quicker. Yeah, go after that one. Paragons have that guy. I think the Dominator is a little underpowered, to be honest. Especially if it's not the 14 variant, because the 14 variant gets like a lot of extra ordnance points. The reduced maneuverability isn't much compared to getting that extra armor flux that it desperately needs. Okay, now we can claim victory. Oh, they've re-engaged. That's what that is. Gotcha. Why? That was a fool's maneuver. I don't know what they got that they think they can take on Paragons, but I don't even need them, to be honest. This is going to be a bloodbath. You must have run out of peak performance time and retreated. I'm not seeing anything else. Maybe... Oh, there is something else. It's over here. Maybe because they're counting their logistics ships, they think they have enough fleet points that it's worth a shot. Just, you know, ignoring the fact that civilian ships aren't actually going to contribute. That might be the case. Because this looks like they're bringing 2 enforcers. They've re-engaged with 2 enforcers. Ah, yeah, and then there's all the civilian ships. There we go. Okay, now we can pursue them. I did, in fact, lose the Pirate Afflictor. Okay. That should defeat them. Yes, it does. You may be able to discuss the situation with the High Hegemon on Chico Mostok. Absolutely. Just got to do it discreetly. We're at the right place. Let's drop in right here. Now I can turn that on. Excellent. 11 million credits. Good lord. Yeah, that's a sign that it's over. And let's see, after that accessibility boost, yeah, we're looking at some pretty... I mean, you could be a little crazier. I wonder how high you can get it. I wonder if it's possible to get 1 million. 500,000 would be a lot already. 1 million's probably not without mods, or S-modding everything and being close to the core worlds. And having alpha cores and everything. That might do it. So we're looking at... It would still take 2 months to get this. Yeah. No, I want to finish this up. I want this to be over. So we can move on to bigger and better things. You know, the story of Paul Bingus is coming to an end, but, you know, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Or something like that. It's a bit weird that these are two separate options, because I think this is the default option that doesn't go anywhere. Affirmative. Received, and thank you, sir. Please maintain link. This comms out. Paul Bingus, you've been busy. Yes. Yes, we do. So, talk. Congratulations are in order. You've successfully adjusted the expectations of the previously dissenting members of the Strategic Assembly. The hegemony will recognize your holdings as legitimate charter colonies in accordance with the frontier development policy of the human domain. You will be recognized as the official executive agent given exceptional charge for the stability, well-being, and growth of these chartered colonies. So you want to pretend the hegemony won. You get victory, Captain, and we get to pretend the hegemony won. All nice and legal. The hegemony will act as though this was all a misunderstanding. This new arrangement will have been part of the plan all along. What happens if I say that? Full political independence. That the hegemony will not, cannot do. If it would, if it could, I would not be the high hegemon. This would not be the hegemony. What if I want credits? No. Yeah, straight to the point. You know, I'm not going to drag this out too long. My friend, my pal, buddy. I'll take this, if this is it. Nods, then closes his eyes, looking tired. The high hegemon says nothing more. He looks at you for a moment, then reaches for something. The comlink terminates, leaving you with the crest of the Persian hegemony of the 14th Battle Group, declared by the Eventide Dictats in Cycle 49. Alright, well, we repair. We restore our ships. Might as well throw in those last little upgrades since I've got the story points for it now. Yeah. It's Jover, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it Jover? It's Jover, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it Jover? You won. I like to imagine that's what he was. He probably... You know what? That's exactly how we're going to do it. He's not going to pay me with credits. He's not going to pay me with anything like that. I'm going to force him to sing that song to admit defeat. He's going to do a little karaoke session where he sings, "It's Jover, isn't it?" That is how we would put the hegemony in its place. And that is the end of the story of Paul Bingus. Well, I'm just going to sell all this. Not that I'm doing this even though I'm not really continuing this playthrough. I'm stopping here. This is the end. Stop doing errands. Stop. Okay. I'm going to save that. And that's the end of that. But it hasn't been actually too long. Honestly, the pause earlier, that was like a good 20 minutes. I could have tacked that on just for a little bit extra, but I didn't think it would happen that fast. So, I guess I can save and exit and just show off a little of something else. Just a little something else, you know? Midline. If you don't want to be spoiled on the fleet, I guess look away. But if you do want to be spoiled, and I want to see, and I think that might be a good idea. It might be a good idea to show a high-end fleet first, and then show the process of making a high-end fleet. So I'm going to show it here. What we've got here is, just a few of these. No big deal. Oh, shoot, I still have the music off. I'll have to turn that on in a second. But yeah, we've got Pegasus flagship. We've got a couple conquests, some falcons. I even threw in a hammerhead, which are, I mean, it's okay. Definitely falls behind the other destroyers. But it does have some advantages, like compared to a Manticore. As an escort, it's going to do a lot less damage. But it can get a lot better shields at the same time, compared to a Manticore. A Manticore is going to do much better damage. This is going to have better shields, combined with being lower deployment points. So it's not completely terrible. It's just kind of mediocre. Yeah, we're just going to go in. Alright, so here's the strategy. We've got Falcon and Monitor can go capture those. The Hammerhead can escort me. The Heron can escort that Conquest. The Conquest can go and search and destroy. I'm going to switch over to the Hurricanes. Turn on the music. There we go. And electronic warfare is just going to make life easier. And there's going to be... you can't definitely, against this many remnants, you can't sleepwalk your way through this one. So I think compared to the last fleet, it's not as strong. Because that, well, although, to be fair, the last fleet started sleepwalking through things once I got level 7 officers and Omega weapons. Which this fleet is a bit lacking. I think the only Omega weapons I threw in were resonators on the Herons. But if I threw them in on some other ships, that might be a little different. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you two stick to here, you two stick to here. And we're going to deploy the remaining Herons. One can follow me, one can follow the other Conquest. I mean, if you're going to expose your side like that, you're going to make it easy for me. Do need to be somewhat careful with Hurricane ammo against this many enemies. This quantity. Because a lot of the destroyers, it takes longer to kill them just using the kinetic weapons, but you can do it. And so saving that ammo can be worth it. And now we use fast missile racks. Look how fun that is. Goodbye. Ooh, he didn't even overload. Oh well, he's dead. Yeah, hopefully we get a chance to see the... I don't think we've seen the Tridents do too much yet. But they definitely end up stealing... With a... what is it called? Detailed combat results. A lot of their score at the end depends on hull damage. That's the most important one. And the Herons actually end up stealing a lot of the hull damage from the Conquests. Because of, like, double Squall and double Mjolnir, they do pretty well. Like, they can kill the remnants, but then it takes a little bit longer. And so while they're sitting there maxed out on Flux, the Tridents come in and just finish the job. So they don't really help the Tridents win, or the Conquest win fights that they weren't... Like, for the most part, all they really do is help them kill things faster, rather than helping them win fights that they weren't winning. Although that can happen sometimes. Okay, why are you no, stay where you are, please. Alright, let's delete them. Ooh, survived them a sliver of HP. Yeah, those tridents just not quite doing it. Oh, that is a lot of harpoons. Uh-oh. Okay, I got it. Managed to catch a decent number. I do have combat endurance, so the hull damage can be repaired. Alright, let's get rid of you. And the Tridents help score an overload there. Let's just finish you off. Oh, look at you. Very aggressive. But also a mistake. Let me just look at that. Ain't that funny? Okay, so we've recaptured that. I guess you can go kill... No, that's actually not what I wanted. Kill the little guy. Kill the little guy. There we go. You're already maxed out on Flux. That's an easy hurricane. Don't even need to think about that one. You guys are going to kill that, I guess. Yeah. Here comes another Radiant. I've still got 18 Hurricanes. That's a good number. That's a good number. Now we just need to make sure that the Hammerhead doesn't get itself killed. It does... Escorts will really try. They're going to try their hardest. That's for sure. They love charging Radiants. That was a good hit from the side, but I can't quite... My Hurricanes aren't going to get through regardless. Okay, you. You're taking... Why? You've deprived me of the ability to use the English language. That is how nonsensical that decision is. What are you doing? Nope, that was a foolish decision. Bye-bye. I mean, I think the way that the AI works is that human pilots, or rather most ships in the game, have a programmed-in, like, reaction time delay. In the same way that a human being would have. Because they want it to feel more like fighting like actual human beings, rather than fighting a perfect combat AI. But the way that Remnants work is a little different. See, the fearless personality is the same as the reckless personality, but with that reaction time removed. That's the difference. Otherwise, in terms of its aggression, it's the same. They just remove the reaction time because, well, that's only there to simulate a human opponent. And if it's not a human opponent, then why would you simulate that? Alright, where's the monitor? I mean, you're doing fine. But if you could do a little more over here, that would be great. I'll vent while the Tachyon Lance is on cooldown. Just try to stay out of range of those auto pulses. And of course that debris is going to eat up a bunch of the Hurricanes, unfortunately. Oh, that's not what I wanted. And there's a monitor beneath you too to sandwich you. Perfect. Even though it doesn't actually threaten it, it does convince the AI not to jump in that direction as aggressively. Let's see. I guess I could kill this thing. Nobody else is really going to. I suspect the damage numbers for the Tridents are actually going to be lower this time. Usually they do get some very impressive hits, and they did get a couple. But there's usually... I mean, I've had cases where we form like a concave here with the Pegasus and the Conquests, and there's just squalls everywhere, like missiles, harpoons everywhere, and then there's just the Tridents like slamming them wave after wave. Turn this way. Yeah, there we go. Get the wider side facing towards me so I can score a kill. Yeah, don't need to use the other Hurricane ammo. Instead, I'll just let them finish it off. That'll save me some shots. I mean, this battle is getting close to the end, so I don't really need to save shots, but I'm going to. It's good practice. A good form, good technique. Yeah, and they're going to be running out of combat readiness, or peak performance, rather, by the end. And those are, in fact, symmetrical conquests. I tried asymmetrical ones with, what is it? You put Devastators on the offside, and then you put HVDs in the medium slots. And yeah, it does get you higher DPS, but it's also a lot more expensive. I mean, thanks to ballistic integration, Mjolnirs are only 14 points, and then HVDs are 13 points each. And then you've also got to afford all the flux for them. Yeah, it ends up being pretty expensive, and I find that the AI is less finicky when it's symmetrical. When it's asymmetrical and it's got one main combat side, it can be a little finicky to try and get it to fight the enemy properly. When it's asymmetrical, there's not as many issues. Oh yeah, it looks like the... Can you please just kill it already? There we go. Well. And we're just waiting for this. Yeah, get him. Get him. Come on. Show us what you're capable. There we go. Use those machine guns. I know you want to. I gave them to you for a reason. We can actually look at the monitor damage. I gave them elite point defense, and I found that the extra range does actually mean that they do some decent damage with those machine guns. It's not a lot, but it's enough that I think it's worth it. Okay, there we go. Now we can go over fleet composition and all that good stuff. So let's take a look. The flagship, 150,000 hull damage. Most of that being Hurricanes. Shocker. Very surprising. That's a lie. It's not surprising at all. That's the way that it is. Those Hurricanes, big damage. Of course. Obviously. And then these guys, yeah, 31,000, 36,000. That's about right. Because they can do a lot of the kill... Remember, there's only like a fixed amount of hull damage you can do across the enemy fleet. And so while these guys can chew through the enemy fleet pretty safely... I mean, look at this. 36% of the damage taken... Basically, all of it was on shield. It took a little bit of armor damage. So it can get in there and fight the enemies pretty safely. It just takes a long time. So what ends up happening is the Tridents come in and they clean out the kill a lot faster. And that's why these Herons can end up with 31,000 hull damage. That's pretty comparable to this ship, despite only being half the deployment points. You can see pro rata DP 64, 77 for these Herons. Pretty close to the Conquest, but the Herons by themselves are not getting anything done. Look at that shield damage. And look at that shield damage. Yeah, the Herons by themselves, not getting a whole lot done. Falcon, Hypervelocity Driver, IR Auto Lance. Yeah, I mean, we can just look at the build, really. Skill set, this is what I'm looking at. Pretty straightforward. Turret gyros, it's probably needs to be nerfed on capital ships. Instead of per size class difference, it should probably just be 5% to smaller ships, flat across the board. We've also got ECCM package S-modded on all these big boys with ballistic mastery and gunnery implants, so we've got maximum range, and we don't suffer any range penalty on them. That's pretty nice. I've really liked the heavy autocannons across the nose with hypervelocity drivers. I think that works really, really well with these 4 gravitons. That gives you all the kinetic damage you need, and then hurricanes just finish things off very quickly. Maxed out vents, S-modded this. Even grab resistant flux conduits, because once you start using fast missile racks, you build up a lot of soft flux, and being able to just vent it while the enemy dies to your missiles, pretty useful. These guys, I think I've talked about this a little bit already. I mean, the interesting thing about symmetrical builds is not just that it makes the AI a little easier to work with. It also means that armor is actually really good, because the ship can fight with the left side, and then once the armor gets stripped off, switch over and fight with the right side while having fresh armor. So even though the baseline armor is actually not that high, with a symmetrical build, you can kind of use your armor twice. Not that it usually doesn't need to anyways, but in theory it could do that if the battle was a little more difficult. Getting a skill choice here is actually pretty challenging. Elite helmsmanship is really good. You can get a lot of value out of polarized armor and ordnance expertise too. And I don't even have combat endurance here, because there's not really anything I would switch it out for. If I drop impact mitigation, I mean, that's not... there's just nothing else I would drop it for. The extra 5% damage, like what I give up, impact mitigation? I need something there for maneuverability. You need some kind of maneuverability bonus, whether it's this or helmsmanship. So, no, I'm not dropping that. Missile specialization? No, I don't think so. Target analysis? No. And then the last 2 boost your range. You're not trading those out for sure. The extra damage reduction is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not as important to the conquest. And I can talk a little bit about autofire accuracy here too. So obviously the higher your combat readiness, the better your autofire accuracy. But what's important to know is that the percentage is... like whatever percent it is, that's your autofire accuracy. So if it's 25%, then your autofire accuracy is 25%. If it's 77, then it's 77. If it's 100, it's 100. But the thing is, it caps out at 100. Now, if you read gunnery implants, it says plus 100% targeting leading accuracy. Well, guess what? It caps out at 100 anyways. So if you have maxed out combat readiness, then that bonus actually does nothing. What this really means when it says plus 100% target leading accuracy is it means that instead of your accuracy being based off your combat readiness, you always get the maximum value. Because even if you're at 0%, plus 100 means that you count as being 100%. So really, it's the same thing as integrated point defense AI, that's it. Where it says, in addition, all point defense weapons get the best possible target reading regardless of combat readiness. That's what gunnery implants does for all of your weapons. So with all the disadvantages of having your combat readiness below the maximum, if you've got gunnery implants and you've got all these skills where there's just nothing to drop, this is one of the rare cases where I'd be okay with it. And it's not like the Conquest needs the extra peak performance either. Then we've got these things. S-modded magazines makes all of this pretty good. You've got missile autoloader with breach missiles for stripping off armor. Magazines with the auto lance. Those melt through hull pretty nicely. The burst PDs with advanced optics and expanded magazines are very good point defense. Then he's got those. This is a skill set, pretty, speed, damage, flux, combat endurance. And it's not too different from what I used to do in older videos with like gravitons or ion beams. It's just that now I think S-modded magazines with auto lances is really good. Although that being said, you did see how it struggled against a frigate towards the end. And for killing frigates, it might be better off with gravitons. to try and overload their flux faster. But then again, it would struggle a little more to deal with the hull, whereas these just vaporize the hull as soon as it drops its shields. This thing did pretty okay as an escort. You know, the damage output compared to a Manticore is going to be lackluster, but with maxed out like caps and S-modded flux coil adjunct, you can really squeeze out a lot of shield strength from this thing while still doing a decent amount of kinetic damage. Whereas the Manticore, you really can't do that. You can get better damage overall in the Manticore, but you can't do that while having good shields. And this is cheaper, so it's still kind of mediocre, but it has its advantages. Here we've got S-modded repair unit. I really, really like, because if this thing dies, it's usually because a Tachyon Lance shut off its engines. With an S-modded repair unit, that's basically not a concern anymore. Flux distributor and hardened shields is pretty obvious. You want unstable ejector to help make up for its low speed, and then over here, helms to ship, combat endurance, elite field modulation, of course. And then I threw in elite point defense. Let's actually look at the damage that they did. Let's see, combat, where are you? This one. If we scroll down, how much did they actually manage to do? Yeah, 23,000 shield damage. It didn't do any hull damage this time. This one got 1,500. It killed a frigate, look at that. So, the extra damage that they get out of elite point defense, not to mention the fact that they can support your fleet by shooting down a lot of missiles with those flak cannons. So I think that that's worth it. And then throw in ballistic mastery because it's all got ballistic weapons. Now if I had officer training, I would also throw in gunnery implants and make it elite for the ECM. But with electronic warfare and gunnery implants on my character, I've already got 12%, and you know, you really only... the first 10% are pretty important, so if I didn't have that first 10%, I would prioritize gunnery implants to get it with these guys. But since I already do have it, it's not that big of a deal. Especially when I've got S-modded ECCM package to negate the effect from the enemy fleets. And then these things, all in on the tridents. It's kind of a caveman unga-bunga, hit them with lots of torpedoes. But it does work. You see that you saw the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Unless we're talking about beam weapons, then sometimes the numbers do lie. But if it's not beam weapons, then it's usually not an issue. And normally I love coordinated maneuvers for maxing out your nav rating. But since I don't have that, I put nav relays on these things. That gives you 12%. And then if you control a nav buoy, it gets up to 17%. That's most of the bonus, so that's nice. Throw on ECCM and elite missile spec to try and get as much value out of the resonator as you can. Expand a deck crew to keep the replacement rate high. And other than that, yeah, elite helmsman ship. These things, very, very vulnerable, but when they're sitting behind like the Conquests and the Pegasus, they're pretty safe. And they just deliver a lot of damage. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.